Ayobami Sadiq, aka Spending, who, according to Punch newspaper, is an ally of late music star Iliroluwa Aloba, aka Mohbad. Well, we all know what he said in the past. He was at the coroner inquest. He gave stories on how he had held the baby in the car when Mohbad and Wunwo had a fight when they were fighting. He was asked extensively about the fight between Mohbad and Prime Boy. He gave us some sketchy details, just like every one of them, but they still want to rope Prime Boy. Or let me put it in a better form. They want Prime Boy to be held responsible and accountable as part of the cause of the demise, or what led to them calling in the nurse, the unqualified nurse, the auxiliary nurse. In fact, she should not be called a nurse, but for the sake of clarity, so that we know what we are talking about, the nurse. So both of them were supposed to go down for the demise of Mohbad, excluding the prime suspect, Cynthia Wunwo Adebanjo, the so-called widow of Mohbad. Somehow, she has been able to wriggle her way out. Yeah, she has been able to wriggle her way out of this. And a lot of people are wondering how she has been able to do these things. I'm going to quickly go to what Punch newspaper wrote so that we all can be on the same page, because it is no longer the nurse and Prime Boy. It is now the nurse and Spending. What is the role of Spending? According to what we heard, and according to Spending, he gave them. Now, them refers to Wunwo, Adura, and the rest of those group of 15 people in that house. He gave them the nurse number to call, and they have contacted the nurse. She responded also to them, and the eventual medication administration and the demise of Mohbad. Ayobami Sadiq, aka Spending. According to the legal counsel, Badejo and Co., represented by Stephen A. Morwar, they have raised an alarm, and the statement reads, on the 26th September 2023, the Lagos State government, through the office of the chief coroner, initiated a coroner inquest into the sudden demise of Ilerioluwa Imoleayo, aka Mohbad, in line with section 14 and 15 of the Coroner System Laws of Lagos State. During the inquest, Mr. Ayobami Sadiq attended, presented clear evidence, and he was equally cross-examined extensively without loss of credibility. The evidence presented so far at the inquest is insufficient to exonerate him from any liability, is sufficient to exonerate him from any liability for the unfortunate demise of Mohbad. So what is the liability? What is it that is being put on him? What is the cross that is hanging on him? According to the Nigerian police, they said that since he's the one that introduced this unqualified nurse, even though he introduced this unqualified nurse, which is called auxiliary nurse in Nigeria, to grown-up people, smart people, wise people, people who are knowledgeable enough to say, are you a qualified nurse or not? So the police ended up with is an accomplice because he had introduced the nurse. So he's an accomplice. He cannot be let loose. But for a while, he felt he was free. I'm talking of Spending. He felt relaxed, like, I'm good, I'm all right. Not until now that it seems they concluded they have to end this year, 2024, with someone in prison. That is why they quickly fast-tracked the court to prosecute Spending and possibly the nurse. But starting with Spending. Spending, you are the cause of this. Spending, you brought a nurse. Spending, you introduced a nurse. Absurd. We are not making stories for Spending because Spending has been uncooperative. Now, with this, I think Spending's mouth will be wide open. The findings of the coroner inquest are very crucial in determining the cause of the demise, which will aid in deciding any subsequent legal proceedings. Deciding to prosecute based on incomplete facts and evidence is premature and unjustified. This not only risks unfair charges, but also undermines the integrity of the legal system. While the desire for swift justice is understandable, rushing to prosecute before the inquest concludes would undermine the fairness of the process. Premature prosecution could result in wrongful charges or conflicting conclusions, potentially damaging public trust in the justice system. Spending lawyer said all of these things in the hope that Spending will be free. Not prosecuted. He went on to say, to ensure fairness and prevent miscarriage of justice, it is essential to allow the coroner's inquest to be completed and its findings considered before the DPP could initiate any criminal charges. It is not only fair that the state government that initiated the inquest should allow the process to run its course to a conclusion in a transparent manner, in a way that helps build trust in the legal system and ensures that the investigation is fair, free from bias, and without any appearance of witch hunt. Now, the solicitor is urging the Director of Public Prosecutions to reconsider its decision to ignore the pending inquest and proceed with prosecution at this stage. Why is Mr. Prime Boy not part of this? A lot of people have said that social media is nothing and now that. These guys are paying attention to what's happening on social media. They have realized to an extent that Prime Boy has been able to set himself sort of free. And let us be very sincere, they do not have any physical evidence. If they say spiritual, it cannot be proven. They do not have any material evidence to present indicating that Prime Boy injured Mohbad and the bleeding profusely thing that they said. The police, of course, we've heard that Wuwon and our sister Karimo and some other group of people went to the police. They gave them 120,000 naira and an expensive bottle of ogogoro. I'm talking of hard drink, you know what I mean? Spirit. They gave them spirit worth 90,000 naira. This is how they were able to buy the police first before proceeding on whatever. Now that the police know that there is a lot of money to be made, every now and then we heard that before one goes to the inquest, it goes to see the police. And when you go to meet the police, you are not going there to smile. You are going to give them something. So Wunmi has been paying instrumentally, according to her sister, to the Nigerian police. When I say Nigerian police, I don't mean the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I'm talking about some couple of police officers that are handling Mohbad's case. There are millions, thousands of cases handled in Nigeria. So do not think it's a Nigerian thing. It's that particular group of police in that particular section who are handling Mohbad's case that we are talking about. Now, Mr. Spending, you go collect. You do not want to be cooperative at the beginning. Your mouth was bouncing up and down. You are trying to sound glib. Now that the cross is hanging on your head, what will you do? I think now you will jump out to begin to use the same social media that he had acted as if he is a Superman. He will begin to beg for mercy.